Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Scenes depicting chaos, panic, and hysteria following the detection of alien life. Buildings crumble, fires rage, riots break out, societies collapse. If that's how Earthlings are going to deal with the news that there's life beyond Earth, why risk looking for it? Well, let's take a look at how would humans react to alien life. Without further ado, let's begin. Germs stuck on the outside of the International Space Station are not from around here. Cosmonaut Anton Shkaplerov said in an interview last week with Russian state-owned news services TASS. Microbes have come from outer space and settled along the external surface, Shkaplerov said. They are being studied so far, and it seems that they pose no danger. Russia's space agency, Roscosmos, has not weighed in on the extraordinary claim. Looking at a mix of news headlines and survey responses, Varnum and his colleagues found that people's reaction to the detection of alien life, both hypothetically and to the famous false announcement of microbial fossils from Mars, are generally quite positive. To be honest, I wasn't at all sure what we might find, Varnum tells Geographic. It is worth noting that in fiction, often the discovery of extraterrestrial life is portrayed as having negative societal or physiological consequences. The odds are not on the side of the aliens. If microorganisms are tucked away within the space station's hall crannies, as Shkaplerov says, they probably hitchhike for 250 miles from our planet's surface. But imagine if scientists found alien microbes. How would humanity react to the news? Michael Varnum, a psychologist at Arizona State University and a member of its new interplanetary initiative, is trying to anticipate this response. One of the initial questions of the initiative that we're curious about is how might we respond if we discover evidence of extraterrestrial life, he said. But others are skeptical that the results, published in Frontiers of Psychology, fully reflect reality, citing its overall focus on microbial life as well as a non-representative pool of respondents. I think the fact that the slim majority of folks seem down with the idea of microbes on Mars or elsewhere is hardly surprising, says Seth Shostak of the SETI Institute. Gray guns are quite different, and the really interesting studies are those that try to gauge the reaction of a SETI detection, or even more dramatic, the discovery of alien hardware. Rejoice or riot? Varnum and his colleagues started by running a variety of relevant news stories through a language analysis program and asking whether the words in those stories reflected emotions that were not positive, e.g. happy, nice, good, or more negative, e.g. worried, nervous, annoyed. The stories the teams chose covered the 1967 discovery of pulsars, strange dead stars that were initially hypothesized to be signals from intelligent extraterrestrials, the famous WOW signal detected by SETI researchers in 1977, the 1996 discovery of fossilized microbes in the Martian meteorite ALH 84001, the strange behavior of Tabby star, which in 2015 was suggested to be the work of orbiting alien megastructures, now we know it's just dust, and the 2017 discovery of multiple Earth-sized exoplanets in the habitable zone of a star. If you are enjoying the video, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos just like this. In these cases, the words used were more positive than negative, the team says, no matter whether the subject was microbial or technological alien life. Additional work also being presented at the AAAS meeting looked at news stories reporting that the interstellar asteroid Oumuamua could be an alien spaceship, and the findings are the same. Next, the team asked Amazon Mechanical Turk users to predict their own reactions to the discovery of microbial alien life, and then offer an opinion on whether their response would be roughly in line with humanity's in general. More than 500 respondents wrote down their anticipated reaction, which were analyzed in the same way as the news stories. I would be so interested in this. I would find all the info online I could find. I would keep up with it until I saw pictures of the life. Then I'd probably lose interest, one person wrote. As before, the respondents use more words indicating positive emotion, both for themselves and for humanity as a whole. Lastly, the team asked a different set of approximately 500 Amazon Technical Turk users to read 2 stories in the New York Times and write down their reactions. One group read the story announcing the now known to be wrong 1996 finding of fossilized Martian microbes in a meteorite recovered from Antarctica, and the other read a 2010 story describing the creation of synthetic life forms on Earth. As before, their responses were scored for positive and negative words, and as before, the responses were more positive than negative, especially when it came to alien microbes. Again, Shostak isn't particularly surprised. He notes that, for a few hectic days, it really seemed like Martian aliens had been found in 1996. Hitting limits. But not everyone agrees that the study's results can be generalized. For one thing, Vakac and others say, there are light years of difference between acknowledging the presence of otherwise harmless microbes on the next planet over and being confronted with an advanced technological alien race. Extrapolating from one scenario to the other isn't necessarily going to be accurate. As well, reactions to living aliens, whether microbial or not, are likely to be quite different than reactions to fossils, which is the scenario that the author probed with stories about the Martian meteorite. Anthropologist Catherine Denning of York University is also concerned that the Mechanical Turk users, the majority of whom, as the study identifies, are white, college-educated Americans, aren't even close to representative of humanity as a whole. The leap involved in generalizing from the pretty specific sample to a broader human reaction is really problematic, she says. Another limitation of the study is that the American respondents were probably assuming that the discoveries were made from American sources. It is easy to imagine that it would be a more complex scenario across borders. The author says they hope to replicate the work cross-culturally for this exact reason, and Vakac notes that there's already a bit of work in this area and looks at the differences in America and China's attitude towards the first contact situation. Denning also has concerns about categorizing the words used in the news stories as simply positive or negative and using those results to infer any sort of complexity. I'd suggest that the really juicy stuff lies in nuance, not in the overall average, she says. And in the event of a detection, the way news influences opinions will be vastly more complicated than one person simply reading a news story and logging their reaction. Conversations, social media, conflicting news stories, this is enormously important, she says, and it points to the need for additional resources about post-detection problems, research which digs into the nuances of how news moves. It's hard to study. So guys, let me know down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about it? For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.